Dear beloved Creator of all that is, and to Creator within, truth prevails, yet those among us resist it. Truth wins, yet the journey on the road to its revealing is rife with blood and tears and tested patience. Those of us who see the lies and deceit of those who hold power and sway declare and dare, we see you. We see your evil. We see your behavior and your divisive actions. We summon the power of our eternal Creator to protect us as we challenge these actors, and actors they are. They think they are protected by closing their doors to the public. We know their tricks. We are onto them. We stand tall and loud against them. We win. Let it be so, and so it is.
My name's Ron Vroman. I'm the old white man talking head for the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly. I have a short message I want to read. And the time is 2:12. Okay. Considering that this goes much further, it plots on the bell curve. On the left are 12 to 15% of us with insufficient IQ to enter the military. Natural selection hierarchy, incompetence. On the right, 16.25% are smart enough to figure it out and don't take action, self preservation, forgiveness, or fear. 62.5% will not speak truth to the de facto. They have family, business, jobs. Life consumes their time. TV, internet, drugs, cognitive dissonance, Stockholm syndrome. That leaves 3 to 5% on the left. The Khazarian mafia, industrial, military, legislative, judiciary, executive, UN, Nazi, communist, jihadist, Satanist, etc., complex that controls the stupid, the BLM, Antifa, incorporated governance on the left side, and many labor unions. Then there's 3 to 5% on the right. To take back our constitutional Republican form of government this year, www.orsja.org. I'm unable to duplicate the graph here, but I'm working on it. I am trying to figure out how to get all of it graphed on one piece of paper. Some people take in their information that way. I digress. Consider responding. That's to me the phone number, the assembly on YouTube, Brighteon. Consider it. All of us need a Jural assembly. I made a statement. At what point did sensible enter into this? To walk away is sensible. To acquiesce, queasling. Inability to say truth to the de facto makes up 62.5% plus of the population. There is a large dispossessed population. They've been dispossessing people for a long time. It is really large. There's a very small percentage that will do Athens, Tennessee, 1946. Look it up on DuckDuckGo. Athens, Tennessee, 1946. I drew a line personally. Not one infringement on my unalienable rights granted to me by my God will go without challenge. I made that silly promise to myself in 2012, 13. Hard one. It is codified on the land and soil of the United States of America's constitutional Republican form of government circa 1859. That is original jurisdiction. May I speak to you about original jurisdiction? It is found in the de jure constitutional Republican form of government as juxtaposed to the de facto, the color of law, incorporated governance that you are part of, the illegal and illegitimate. Page 6. Wait a minute. Boy, you think you have it and you don't. De facto, page 614, Black's Law 6. The incorporated governance, the illegal and the illegitimate, the United States of Washington District of Columbia, Inc. Government is not incorporated. The benevolent or malevolent form of martial law, Labor Code, FEMA, being served up to their subdivisions, such as the state of Oregon's Salem oligarchy in the current Social Democrat era. www.orsja.org. That's where we are, and we post all of our documents there and lots of videos. All of us on Oregon implemented Ex parte Milligan. This nullified martial law with our civilian court of record. This in turn led us to a grand jury, a real grand jury, not one of these fake, phony things you see run up by Larry, whatever his name is, on television. It's not the same. This led us to a grand jury on Oregon as Article 1, Section 1, a social compact, Oregon's provisional de jure government. A government with an Article 3, one Supreme Court claiming original jurisdiction found in Amendment 7 lawfully and legally on Oregon in 2022. This was accomplished by the Oregon Statewide Jural Assembly, aka Article 1, Section 1, signed, sealed, stamped, witnessed with proof of service properly, and then published at www.orsja.org and also on YouTube and Brighteon. These were accomplished by, pardon me, these were acquiesced to by the U.S. DOJ, the U.S. Marshal Service, the FBI, the U.S. Marine Corps, the state of Oregon, aka State of Oregon, all caps, executive, legislative, and judiciary, 36 sheriffs, more now because they've changed and the new ones aren't even compliant, 38 prosecutors, a provost marshal, and a JAG, and they have all defaulted many times over. This same process is available to the other 32 states and commonwealths and the 17 territories, and we need to establish the de jure law form as opposed to the de facto currently existing. The incorporated color of law form of the city of Portland as a subdivision of the county of Multnomah, is a subdivision of the state of Oregon, is a subdivision of the United States of Washington District of Columbia, Inc., with 4 sports armories and needful buildings, operated by an industrial, military, executive, legislative, judicial, administrative, banker, Federal Reserve note, bar, Nazi, Jesuit, Khazarian, jihadist, communist, UN, big pharma, medical, de facto, color of law, RICO society that should not be. So we took them out on Oregon in November 2022. Now, I'd like to flesh out some of that, if I may. I got 3 dogs with me here today. I had one recently die. Not a good thing. I'd like to back up to insufficient IQ to enter the military. There's 12 of us on our action committee. Only three in the action committee have been in the military. The military is a very strange life form. And those that pick it to go for the long haul, to do 19 and 6 or 20 or 30, or like the Coastie I talked to the other day, he's 48. He retired after 30 in the Coast Guard. He's 48 and he's already retired from a job of 30 years, a chief in the Coast Guard. Very honorable slot. But that's military. I think in the military, along about colonel, they read them into what's really going on. We think we know, but we don't. We don't really know, and we'll probably never find out. And it's probably just as well. But what the military is what Eisenhower warned us about. That's who they are. I had a colonel in a outfit down in LA called 40 Plus that helped older guys find a job. And I was there because I'd been out of the country for 8 years and had no idea what was going on. And I needed a job. So I went there to find out how to do it. 40 Plus. Had a colonel in there. And he was a nice, pleasant fellow. We talked and everything. And he said, I'm not worried. He says, everybody that retires as a colonel or better will find a very good job in industry. There's just one for us there. Don't worry about it. I'm fine. Yep. I think they're read into it. They know all about the industrial military complex, martial law, labor code. They understand all of it, and they think they are the superior beings because they are in control of martial law. That's what I think of the military. I'd want them on our side. But how in the hell do you do that in the modern world? I have no idea. But I think I covered my thoughts on the military. Let's go down to orsja.org. I was talking to a captain. Jural was his first name, in the Inspector General's Department of the Marine Corps. he was right there at the intake of what they got in their hotmail complaints from the inspector general. And he's the one that told us we don't have a case with the inspector general. It's not the place to look. We're not the ones responsible, Ron. But I did go to your website and I did watch your videos, and he agreed that there was nothing in them that wasn't true. He agreed to that. So I guess a captain in the inspector general's office has been read in also, and he knows what the truth is. But to him, nothing of what we're doing is not truthful. It's just that the inspector general is not the one that can cure it. Okay. The judge advocate general's office says they're not the ones either. Okay. The provost marshal in Pendleton, which would probably be the area for Oregon, the provost marshal in Pendleton, their sergeant major said to me, Ron, you're looking in the wrong spot. It's not in the security or the law or the provost marshal in the Marine Corps. That's for us. That's ours. You're civilian. We're not helping you. Not in our jurisdiction. Look someplace else. So I'm thinking as hard as I can to look someplace else, and I think I found it, but we'll find out because we keep looking. But it's probably the Marine Corps. And I say that because the Marine Corps was invented by the Continental Congress before there was ever the United States of America. It was still when they were the United States of America with the small u. They made the Navy and the Marine Corps. So the Marine Corps is a plank holder in the vessel, in the ship of state, in the fiction of the Constitution. They were there when it was made. They're the ones that are supposed to enforce it. Give us our peace, safety, and happiness. Now, if it's the Marine Corps after the fraud, then that Marine Corps probably can't help us. They're beholden to the Chief of Staff and the Marine Corps that's functioning now. So is the Marine Corps that's functioning now the commandant? Is he beholden to this United States of Washington District of Columbia, Inc.? Probably. But is he also beholden to original jurisdiction? Original jurisdiction didn't just go away and disappear. It's still there. We've called it out. It exists on Oregon. We know we've been deceived, and we are no longer deceived. They have no plausible deniability. Yeah, that's pretty clear. The Marine Corps is responsible for our peace, safety, and happiness here on Oregon because Oregon is one of the several states. that they were a plank holder in inventing. Now, there's some that say it's supposed to be the Coast Guard. Except the Coast Guard came in 1789, and the United States came in 1777. The United States of America came then. So, in looking at the situation, we've marked off of the chart several different divisions of the Marine Corps, such as aviation. I don't think aviation's going to come here and force the bad guys out of office. I think that'll be a rifle company because there was definitely infantry and riflemen in the Marine Corps when the Marine Corps went to sea with the Navy and handled the Navy's jobs ashore. And this is definitely ashore. So, original jurisdiction. That's where we're headed for. We're doing our very best to get there. Original jurisdiction is where men and women are actually sovereign over their own body, mind, and spirit, flesh, blood, and soul. They're not owned by the company store. That's general jurisdiction, original jurisdiction for the general population. Sovereign in Bouvier 1856 is found in the body of the people in the United States. So we have to convince the 3% on the other states and territories to get the work done, to form their Jural Assembly, to find their Article 1, Section 1 in their Constitution, or use ours with full faith and credit, and avail themselves to a civilian court of record, do the work to become a sovereign, and appreciate it what it means. And we still have time to meet in Philadelphia this year, 2023. And I yield.
Article 1, Section 1 of Oregon's Constitution, natural rights inherent in people. We declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper.
Conspirators, all persons employed by or associated with police, sheriffs, marshals, and others of that ilk on Oregon, operating in the de facto incorporated governance of Article 7 amended, either self-correct to the de jure Article 7 original, or be tried in our de jure civilian court of record with a true bill from our grand jury. Does everyone understand?
Yes.
Returning to a de jure government after more than 100 years of deceit due to Article 7 amended is difficult, and we put forward our best effort. Article 1, Section 1, natural rights inherent in people. We declare that all men, when they form a social compact, are equal in right, that all power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their peace, safety, and happiness, and they have at all times a right to alter, reform, or abolish the government in such manner as they may think proper. That's from the Oregon Constitution.
They do not want to let go of this. They do not intend on losing here. And we do not intend giving it back to them.
And then the bullets started flying. Then he jumps out of the car, and he's got both his hands up. And he got out of the car, and he had his hands in the air. He's like, "Just shoot me then. This is what you want, just shoot me." And they did. They shot him dead. With his hands in the air, and I saw it. I swear to God. He was just walking with his hands in the air. And they shot him. And they shot him dead, and then after he was down on the ground, they shot him 3 more times.